Hello everyone, we're back on a Sunday morning spotlight before my big football match of my own where we're in it to win the league. 2 games to win the league. Let's go, but we're going to get into something a lot further away from winning the league, and that's Man United. 1-1 versus Leicester. I'm not going to lie, I missed 30 minutes of the first half because I knew it would be an absolute bore fest. And as some of you know, I've been having my house rewired and it was more interesting to fit skirting board than it is to watch Man United at the minute. But from what I've seen in the first half and the highlights, it's just absolutely boring. I mean, there's no tempo at all. It's a game where they look like they're playing a game and there's 80 minutes gone and they're already 3-0 up. They're just lacklustre, slow, look like they're just passing the time to get the game over with. There's no impetus, no urgency to get forward, no pace. Bruno playing as a false 9. I mean, he could maybe play for a false 9 in an half-decent team, but in this Man United team, we can't play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-2. How do you expect these players to be able to play a false 9? That's on Ranić, that he's got no other... Ronaldo not playing, I didn't know, but he's got 2 options then for me to put up front. He either goes with Elanga or Rashford. It's all we have. So just put one of them up front for at least a bit of pace, a bit of getting in behind, because how can we play a false 9 as a team when we can't keep the ball for more than 3 passes? The reason a false 9 works for City is they have 70 or 80% possession. They just dominate the ball. They can come in and out of spaces, in and out, in and out. Where 1-2 passes hoof it. And if we're hoofing it, what is the point in Bruno being a false 9? I mean, I think Ranić has to take a bit of the blame for this one and playing a false 9. I just do not get it whatsoever. It's absolutely insane playing a false 9. Especially against Leicester, who are poor at the back, counter-attacking team. They should be penned back in their own area. It's what Leicester do. They sit back and they counter with the quick players. Personally, I think it was to protect Harry Maguire. Again, he's playing next to Varane. They've switched him to the right instead of the left to probably suit him more on his right foot. The fullbacks didn't overlap whatsoever till halfway through the second half. Delot started to get a bit involved down the right-hand side, chucked a few crosses in when we had a spell for 5 or 10 minutes in the second half, but it's the only spell we had. The first half was the most boring game of football I think I've ever watched since an England friendly. It's just pathetic. 2 teams with quick attacking players, and it's just an absolute bore fest. It shows where we are at the minute. Leicester have had a poor season again, and this is Leicester who are, 10th or something in the league, and they are absolutely dominating us in midfield completely. McTominay was absolutely horrific. Probably could have been sent off. I mean, everyone lays into how bad Maguire is and he gets all of the slack from everyone, but McTominay is as bad, if not worse, than Maguire. He's so poor. I mean, you look at their Tielemans, and I don't even know who else was playing in their midfield. Was it Ndidi? Just keeping the ball. Even Leicester can keep the ball way better than us. I think they had way more possession than us in the game. Let me just get a stat up here. See if I can see any stats. But I don't really know what else to say about it. Obviously, you've got Luke Shaw. He started the game, didn't he? And Telles come on for him because he got injured or whatever. I think Telles did all right when he come on. Personally, I won't be playing Luke Shaw. At least he played them both, because Luke Shaw and Pogba both spoke out in international duty about preferring to play for the countries, basically. So, again, Pogba's the one who gets all the flack for it. because he's not English, he's 90 million quid, blah, blah, blah. People forget that Luke Shaw's on 150 grand a week after a new contract. He's been here 8 years and barely done anything apart from maybe 1.5 good seasons. If he thinks England's the place to be under the most boring coach on the planet, Gareth Southgate, Ollie Part 2, send him somewhere with a manager like that. Because I couldn't give two whatevers about any of them, including people like Luke Shaw. Even if he turns up and becomes the best left back in the world like he looked like he might be last season, the fact is he's been there 7 or 8 years now and the inconsistency's not there. Everyone rattles on about Pogba's inconsistency. He's no different. I'm comparing them two because of the comments they've made, and they're both senior players who've been at United for a long time. Both were poor today. Pogba hooked off again. Matic should have started. Leicester's goal was worked well. We tried to break on the counter-attack, lost the ball. It was a great cross by Maddison, and Iniacho, great header. Really good header. Poor defending, really, though, in the box. Iniacho, I thought, played well, held up the ball well. Something we do not have. We die for Iniacho now from, especially when Ronaldo isn't about. He'd be a great backup striker. Holds the ball up, brings people into play. We ain't got anyone like that. And then we go straight back down, score at the other end. Ball breaks to Bruno. Nice bit of work by Fred. Shot, poor save from Schmeichel, I think, and it came from his poor clearance in the first place. So 2 howlers from Schmeichel, really. Poor clearance, and I think he should have done better with the Bruno shot. He should have been pushed wider, and then Fred finished it off. Then we'll get into the most controversial point of the game, where Leicester score again, and at full speed, you just think it's a goal. It's definitely a goal. Like, there's no, but when you get into slow-mo and VAR, it's definitely a foul. He's had his foot hooked from underneath him. But what I think, because it went to VAR and it was a goal and it was Varane who was fouled, I think everyone's missing on what Harry Maguire did. He stood up behind Varane, who's on the floor with the ball underneath him. I don't know who's making the tackle with him. Is it Iniacho or someone? And Harry Maguire just lunges in. I don't get what he's doing. Just absolutely flies in out of nowhere, misses the ball, misses every player, and the next thing you know, Maddison's just in to score. If that ball had broken to Maddison without, which it could have easily done without that little hook, because I don't think he meant to hook him, he was trying to hook the ball. Maguire's just dived in and left him completely on his own. But, you know, it's just absolutely shocking. I'll have a word on Rashford because he come on and a lot of people were getting on his back saying he wasn't doing anything. From what I saw of Rashford, he had a typical number 9 performance for Man United. He had none of the ball. He's trying to chase down the defence on his own. I did see him put in a few sprints. He was trying to win the ball back off the back four, but you can't do it on your own. You just get passed around. And then he would have scored, and Alanga legged him up and nicked the ball off him when he was already offside. So I actually don't think Rashford did too much wrong today. He was up front. Number 9 shift at United's terrible anyway. He was only on for 15, 20 minutes at max, trying to close it, and he had a chance to score and his own player tackled him. I mean, it sums it up, doesn't it? Absolutely pathetic. I think Alanga, he's broke through to the team and he is a talent, but he's still extremely young. And we seem to be reliant on Alanga now. We're not playing Rashford, thinking he's going to be the future, thinking he's going to make the difference. He will end up being another Rashford, or not even up to Rashford's standard, because we're chucking him in at, 19 in a team like this, and he'll get swallowed up. He should be being used sparingly, off the bench, starting a Carling Cup game. Like Liverpool and City do with their youngsters. They're not playing in games like today. They're playing in games that get brought on later. They're playing Carling Cup games. You know what I mean? Or they'll play one of them surrounded by the full strength squad. And as for top four, I mean, that was gone weeks ago. Anyone who still thought we'd get top four, in my opinion, is absolutely delusional. Probably going to finish in the Europa League. And that's bad enough as it is. If we end up in the Conference League, I mean, oh my God. What? If we end up in the Conference League, just send the second team out there and get knocked out. Or let the under 23s go try and win it or something. What is the point? Honestly. It'd be better off without Europe. It'd be better to finish, I don't know, 8th, is it, with a Conference League than to finish 7th or whatever and get in the Conference League. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go for each player individually because there's no point. There's only one player that looked like he was half bothered, and it's the same one as every week, De Gea. Nearly got his hand to the goal. Made a great save from Fofana's header. Again, we'd have lost the game without De Gea, wouldn't we, with that save? But yeah, and 2 weeks off, you thought you might get a reaction, but absolutely not. They're just stale as anything, this United team. They need to freshen up with some youth, some pace. Not even pace, but some work ethic, some work rate. And I hate talking about work rate because work rate should be a given. You shouldn't be playing anyone based on work rate. You should be playing them based on talent because the work rate should always be there. At the minute, I think we're playing people like Fred, McTominay. They're getting played on work rate and not ability. And you have to have both. But anyway, I think we've got Everton next. Relegation fodder. So, we're going to make a hard deal of that one. I'll do a preview on that in the week. I've not got a lot of time, as you know. So, I'll try and get something out. And I will see you on the next one. Favourite, sub. If you've lasted this long, do me a favour. Thanks and goodbye.